Okay, hopefully this will start broadcasting. Fingers crossed. And if we're very, very lucky, I won't accidentally stream nothing after the stream's over. Thank you, Ms. Wicked Wolf. I appreciate that very, very much. I'm getting woos. Looks to me like I'm coming through all right. Oh, I see we're talking about Piers Morgan. Yeah, I heard about that. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you, Freddie. Thank you very much. So, I am just flat out celebrating this time. I'll even drop the pretense. Pink Moscato water. Yeah, that's a good start, I think. It's chilled and everything. Oh, nice to see you too, Black Cover. I rock? Not sure that's true, but I'll take it. I'm happy I finally got diagnosed with high-functioning autism, so yay. Honestly, here's the thing. Anyone who's never been diagnosed with any kind of neuroatypical or neurodivergent situation going on in their head doesn't understand what a relief it is to realize there's a name for what the hell's going on, and there are now either treatments or methods or techniques that can be taught to you to cope with it. And you're not just bonkers in a way that nobody can help. A diagnosis is, oddly enough, a beautiful thing. So congratulations, as weird as that probably sounds to a lot of people. The fun has... Yes. And it is very tasty fun indeed. I hope I'm coming through okay. Now that I've decided that this is my setup for live streams, and I'm bothering to have this frickin' thing stick in my face. I hope I'm coming through nice and cleanly as a result of that. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you very much. And as people, if you came in earlier, you would have noticed maybe some alerts that YouTube memberships are now turned on and a thing. They don't replace Patreon. It is simply an alternative, an additional, however you want to handle it. But I kind of felt like I was leaving money on the table by not having them turned on. So I finally got off my butt and got that going. I honestly didn't think he would go, Piers Morgan again, because he unfortunately was a reason most people watched Good Morning Britain, so him going would probably affect that. I'm sure it will. It's still for the better for everybody involved. Ms. Wicked Wolf's getting buffering. Anybody else? Nobody else is saying it, so I'm going to maybe hit refresh. I've been diagnosed with ADHD. Join the club. Listening to you talk about it sounded familiar to me, so I got it checked out. Thanks. You're welcome. That is a thing. Don't self-diagnose a neurodivergent condition. Because I do get nervous sometimes. Like occasionally when I've done ADHD content on TikTok, some people have replied that's me, but I don't have a diagnosis. And I worry that they're going to start to think they do without consulting anybody first, because some of the symptoms of ADHD can also appear in other conditions. So, it's very important, especially when it comes to neurodivergency, don't self-diagnose. Get an informed opinion so that you know what you're dealing with. Can February, March... Oh, for goodness sake. I'm so happy that Meghan and Harry are speaking out about the mistreatment. I have to confess that I haven't watched the interview, and I haven't read a bunch of the breakdowns because I haven't really been in the headspace for it. And while I'm not going to say it's unimportant, because certainly in the case of someone like Meghan Markle, she, simply because of who she fell in love with and married, she has gone under a preposterous amount of media scrutiny, a lot of it very, very racist and sexist and unfair media scrutiny. And I think that is important to talk about. But at the same time, this is still, my brain compartmentalizes all of this in the area of celebrity gossip. Again, not to undermine the significance of that interview and the impression I've gotten coming out of what's come out of it, but it does mean that for me, like, my brain kind of shunts that off to the side because I don't care about celebrity gossip and I never have. Also, neurodivergent, I have dyspraxia. Oh, I suspect there's probably a fair amount in the group and probably in your day-to-day life if you didn't already know. I showed my friend your live stream from last time, and she said that it's impressive that your arms look like that. Oh, God, that's right. I flexed a muscle last time. Oh, thank you to your friend. There are a lot of scarily specific things I've entirely related to from several people with ADHD. But yeah, self-diagnosing is something I avoid like the plague. Good call, John. I encourage that. I so want your take on Harry and Meghan. I mean, like, if I ever watch the interview proper or like dig more into it, I won't have a take because like beyond maybe acknowledging something on a live stream, like I'm not going to make a video on the topic because the only reason I even vaguely touch on stuff like Joss Whedon, Gina Carano, even Amber Heard and Johnny Depp is because it does feed into the media that I'm talking about. This is still ostensibly pop culture entertainment channel. And even though Meghan is an actress, I feel like that is too far outside my wheelhouse for me to be comfortable trying to navigate that, especially because it's not the kind of thing I talk about. I mean, you look at the videos where I've talked about it, even when I do talk about that kind of sort of thing, I do it through the lens of their creative works or of the studios that are hiring them and things like that. And I don't have that kind of lens to put on this. I have really no business talking about the royal family, and I don't know enough about the culture that surrounds that, both, on the aristocratic level or just the culture of the UK and their feelings towards the royal family. Like I'd be out of my element in about 5 different ways at least. So while I may at some point either watch the interview or read more up on it and have an opinion, it's not something I'll ever do a video on. If you want a new superhero to watch after WandaVision, I suggest Doom Patrol. I do want to get to Doom Patrol, but I'm still catching up. Priority 1 this month is to catch up on the backlog of commissioned books, because I've started catching up on commissioned movies, but I've got a backlog of books that I've got 3 that I want to get finished and have reviewed for the break room this month. And maybe then I will look into getting into something like Doom Patrol. Now, at this point, it's imminently clear that I am not keeping up with the chat. So I suppose this would be my chance to remind... It's pinned at the top of the thing. But anyways, Super Chat guarantees that I will get to your question. Tagging me in it ensures that I will see it, but I might just see it scroll past because I get on a ramble roll. So there you go. I always appreciate your takes on media. Thank you. Are you looking forward to Falcon and Winter Soldier? Yes, I am. I feel like the trailers have done a very good job of tone setting for that, basically affirming it being in the tone of like Captain America Winter Soldier, the more espionage, ground level kind of thing, and I'm here for that. The last movie you watched is being turned into a Broadway musical. What is the title? What was the last movie I watched? Last movie was Clue. Did Clue ever get adapted into a stage show? I feel like I saw somewhere that it did. I don't know if that's related to the movie, though, or like a separate thing. I don't know. Most relatable Grinch moment. Depends. Are you forcing me to talk about the Jim Carrey Grinch, or are we talking about, like, the real Grinch? I'm not even counting the Benedict Cumberbatch. Again, congratulations. I wanted to say you're my comfort YouTuber. Oh, that's sweet. You doubt that this is sparkling water? What? Why would you question me? I mean, there's obviously like something weird going on with the lighting. There's like a tint to it. It's only showing up at the webcam. Like, this is crystal clear in my hand. So, like, I can't account for that. That's a technological hiccup, and I'm not responsible for that. Any classic Who reviews coming up? Yeah, there will be one later this month. I don't think I've had the poll on the Patreon yet to decide what it's going to be. Or if I did, I forgot what it was. I got to go back and look. I'm out of work mindset. Video idea, top 10 Doctor Who characters who aren't villains. It would be interesting to see your opinion on that one. Here's the thing. I did have an idea for something kind of like that. But the problem was that it started getting super overly specific, because, like, for it to be a video worth doing, it, if we're saying not villains and not the Doctor themselves, we also should probably not count the companions, because that feels like its own conversation as well. And so now we're talking about best recurring non-companions, or even best one-time companion. And, like, some of these things I've done. I've done best one-time companion characters. So, like, some of these things I've gotten, but it starts getting so overly specific just because of stuff I've already done to avoid a ton of overlap. So it's not a bad idea, but because of what I've already done, and in the interest of not just redoing those lists, it becomes messy. Oh, thank you, Kelly. So Kelly Gingrich, you get a heart. Thank you very much. And let's see, really appreciated your nuanced conversation, something often lacking in sci-fi fantasy discourse, even though there's so much to say. Keep it up. Thank you very much. I really do try and inject as much nuance into these conversations as I can, because I know for me, there's nothing more frustrating than a video on a topic that just fails to account for significant parts of the puzzle. Even if it's a conclusion I agree, or a perspective I agree with, if I feel like they're simply ignoring huge swaths of the context of what's going on, or potential impacts or other elements at play that they're just not acknowledging, I still will disconnect, because I'm like, but you've boiled it down so far as to be useless. There is a fine balance to be had between boiling things down to have it actually be digestible, and without boiling it down so much that you lose the nuance. And for me, it's the context. Context is king, because probably the most frustrating take for me in general that people have, and shows up in my own chats that people throw at me, is like, well, it is always this, or it should always be this. Either them saying that because this happened in the past, it should always happen the same way, or because that happened to this person, it's supposed to be the same thing now. Like, you're acting as if there's no such thing as context. You're acting as if precedent is the only thing that exists, and that's not reality. Nothing is ever always. There always is different circumstances that causes things to be different. I basically think of it as the chaos theory of pop culture discourse. Every element impacts this. So the more you strip out, the more you might potentially miss why things are happening the way they are. I actually am going to back up because there was a question I saw that I was like, ooh, that's an interesting question. Now I can't remember what it was. Top 10 Murray Gold scores. I actually already did that. So if you check in my backlog, it's in there. Speaking of WandaVision, I don't feel like watching it because I just don't care about the characters of Wanda or Vision. Still waiting for Ghost Rider, no offense intended. I mean, I'm not offended, certainly. And like, to be fair, I wasn't super invested in them as characters either, but I was really interested in what they would do with, characters that had been kind of underutilized up to that point. And what they did was mostly quite interesting. Oh, Sophia Christina Botha. Yo! Or yow? Yo. I'm going with yo. And you get a heart. Thank you so much. If you want homemade socks, give me your measurements. I contribute. I can contribute with hand knitted goods. What measurements do you take for socks? I've got a tape measure to do it, but I don't know what bits to actually measure. What is your top 5 stories from the John Pertwee era of Doctor Who? I've still got a lot of gaps in my Pertwee, so I'll try and answer that, but also keep in mind that there's a lot I still haven't seen. And this is going to be in no particular order. But Time Warrior would be on there, Sea Devils would be on there, Doctor Who and the Silurians would be on there. Trying to think if there were any others of the ones that I've seen that I would legitimately consider to be top 10 worthy. Terror of the Autons. Yeah, sure. I mean, I've seen more than those, but none of the others are, I would feel top 5 worthy. So I feel like I just need to watch more to figure out what else would go on that list. First of all, that is a heart for Yoshi Fan 109. Meow. I can't quite do the Yoshi nose. I tried to do it with sticking my tongue out at the same time. Would you ever do a video about your favorite characters from the classic Doctor Who TV series and from Big Finish Audio? Yes, but in both cases, I need to fill in more of my gaps before I would be comfortable doing that, because I just know that people more versed in those things than I am would just come at me with, wait, how could you not consider this or this? And it'd be stuff I hadn't even seen or listened to. What did you think of the WandaVision finale? Well, I've got a full video review up in the Break Room of Geeks, which is the sister channel for this. So you can see sort of my my unfiltered thoughts there, because it wasn't scripted. I am going to have a video coming out. Hopefully, I'll have this ready in time for Saturday on my thoughts on the show overall. The short version is, it was very disappointing to me that it ended in a superhero fight. I found that frustrating. There were still good things about the finale, but that annoyed me. Length. Okay, so but do you need toe to the heel as one measurement and then heel to halfway up up to the ankle, or you say length and I'm like, length of what? Most relatable Grinch moment, any Grinch. Why? What's special about Jim Carrey, and what's wrong with Benedict Cumberbatch? Nothing special about Jim Carrey's. It's just a terrible movie, and Benedict Cumberbatch one was just bland. It's not even worth getting annoyed at. But see, the thing is, if we're going relatable, I would probably be forced to pick something out of Jim Carrey's, because that Grinch is more relatable. The Grinch is not actually supposed to be all that relatable. That's part of what both the Jim Carrey and Benedict Cumberbatch versions got wrong. So for anyone else in future looking to make a Grinch movie, keep in mind you are not supposed to sympathize with him beyond possibly understanding that the noise is a little much. So if you're going to ask me relatable, then probably his whole thing before I can't even remember what they call it, the celebration where he's going to be the cheermeister, and the whole, coming up excuses for not going, and the, that's how I'm not going. Like that. I relate to that. I do. Doesn't make it a good movie, but whatever. Apart from What the Frell, what are your favorite podcasts at the moment? Well, I wouldn't list my own in that anyway. I'm quite fond of, I'm going to list a couple. I enjoy the Slightly Civil War podcast, which is from The Escapist. I like Your Brain on Facts. I like The Bugle. I listen to Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me as a podcast. I have started listening to Kill James Bond, which that's an entertaining time. So those are kind of the big ones at the moment. Like there's a bunch I listen to that I've just fallen behind on, but I want to get back on track of. Things like Pixel Squirt, or I'm way behind on Improvised Weapons. Once I'm caught up on books, I need to binge through that thing, and really catch up. What Batman villain do you think would fit best in the Doctor Who universe? I mean, I'm just gonna say Clayface, just because he's the most fantastical, the most alien-like. Oh, Sophia Christina Botha again. Thank you. F me, your cleavage is bigger than mine. Well, like, to be fair, this particular shirt, which, hold on. Beautiful, valid, loved. Official merch. Link in the description for the TeePublic store. This shirt really hugs the cleavage, to the point of like really, they honestly look bigger in this shirt than they actually are. They are decently sized, and I'm larger than my partner at this point, but they do look. It's because it's got the slight stretching effect right here that really does sort of give a greater impression of volume. Let's go with that. Shoe size or toe to heel. Also just follow you on Twitter, but under a different username. Okay. So I don't know what like my inches toe to heel would be. My shoe size, US shoe size, it's 10.5 men's or 12 women's. Yeah, the gals look good. Yeah, good to know. All right, so I've jumped back down. I missed a whole bunch of stuff. So, have you heard of Line of Duty? It's a British drama about police, and then then the comment got away from me. Police Anti-Corruption Unit 12 will be highly recommended. Haven't heard of that one. Do you plan on making any videos on Torchwood in the future? Not anytime soon. Torchwood largely falls under the if somebody pays me bucket, because I didn't really care for most of Torchwood aside from Children of Earth. And even that one, it took somebody commissioning me for me to rewatch it and do a video on it. That said, if I ever get caught up on stuff, I still haven't seen Miracle Day. And if and when I do get around to that, I will do a video on it, probably in the break room. But for now, I don't really plan. What nail polish are you wearing? I am wearing 9 different colors and 1 currently uncolored nail. So, like, I'm all over the place. What nail polish are you wearing? Which finger? This is mostly either Sally Hansen. God, my brain was scrambled trying to think of what the heck the company was. Or Roya is the other one for some of these. Oh, Blessed Rain. How's it going? It is going quite well. Thank you very much. And also Connor Johnson. Thank you so much. Fargo, the film turned 25 yesterday. Wow. I'm old. I remember when that first came out and like it was a news story. The fact that in the credits of the film it says it's based on reality, and then it's like, no, it isn't, and people are being fooled. I'm like, no, it's the Coen brothers having a laugh at everybody because most people didn't know how to search on the internet to confirm stuff. Thomas, thank you very much. Any favorite Big Finish audios? Oh yeah. Honestly, you can't go wrong if you listen to anything written by Robert Shearman. My top one is right now still Holy Terror, which has my favorite line in all of Doctor Who. And it's actually, there's a needlepoint of it here, which is, it doesn't matter. Hang on. Yeah, I had it right. It doesn't matter to whom the cruelty is directed. The cruelty itself is wrong. That line means the world to me because so much of what goes on in the world, what people do to each other, comes down to rationalizations and justifications for why it's okay to behave that way towards that kind of person. Yeah, this is mean, but here's why it's okay to do it to them. And just keeping in mind, it doesn't matter to whom the cruelty is directed. The cruelty itself is wrong. That is so important to me. But in addition to that, Chimes of Midnight is great. Jubilee is great. Fearmonger is great. Deadline, which is like an alternate one, and honestly, pretty much all of the War Master, especially Skyman. Oh, that one's like right up there with Children of Earth in terms of be prepared to go to a dark place. Oh, whew, that one. Oh my goodness, you people, you're so generous. Thank you very much, 20th Century Toy. Congratulations on 50K. I need to know what the figure in lingerie is between the two Funkos on the top right. I can always see it, but can't figure out how it is. So right lingerie. So that is, I believe, Arkham Asylum version of Harley Quinn is what that is. So I can. Oh goodness. Before I see the other super chats, I'll get to them in a second. Somebody's got this for me off my Amazon wish list, and I'm not going to take it down because it was a pain in the butt to get into position. But you see the yellow lump right there, that over my shoulder. That, for the What the Frau listeners, that is a plush DRD from Farscape. Those are the little yellow, sort of almost mouse droid looking things with a little antenna that scoot around Moya and do all the little repairs. Oh, I was delighted when I found that to even put on my Amazon wish list. Amazon wish list. Need more water. When I saw it to put on my Amazon wish list, and even more delighted when it turned up. That made me so happy. All right, Ben. Oh yes, no heart, only a nod. You're British, I understand. Biggest regret. That one is always really hard to answer because how do you measure that? There's certainly a lot of things from my life that I wish I hadn't done or had done differently. But at the same time, I can't engage in a thought exercise of like, well, what if this never happened, without my brain immediately starting to line up the dominoes, basically the butterfly effect results of that. Yes, I regret this or this, but if that hadn't happened, would I be where I am in my life right now? Would I be doing this work? Would I have the family I have? Would I be with the partner that I have? And largely for that reason, it's really hard for me to pin something down that I feel comfortably saying, because I always feel like the undercurrent to saying this is your biggest regret is you wish you could go back and change it. But ultimately, most of it, I wouldn't. There's certainly a lot of stuff that I would never want to have to go back and relive again because of my part in it, which, and you may have guessed from the vagaries that I've been doing this with, most of my answers are personal to the point that I would not actually share them on the live stream. Because most of my regrets, my serious regrets, are reflective of things that happened in personal relationships. Some platonic, some romantic. But that's where a lot of my lingering regrets are. And that's the kind of stuff that I don't share on live streams because it's not only my story. And I try very hard to not share other people's stories. And it's also partially a defense mechanism, if I'm being completely honest, because there is that nagging voice of doubt in the back of the head that says, if they knew all the crap that you've pulled throughout your life, they wouldn't be here watching you. They wouldn't support you. Which is probably ridiculous, but, you know, it's a nagging notion. It's especially ridiculous given how much I'm not the person I was when I did most of the stuff I regret the most. But that's still in there. I would be lying if I said the only reason I don't share these stories is because there are other people involved. Part of it is self-preservation. So, there you go. Oh, Kara, I think. I know I've asked and you've specified for me before, so now I feel embarrassed, but either way, you get a heart. Did you notice that the government of Ireland is in the WandaVision credits? Still haven't figured out why. Also, congrats on 50K. I had not noticed that. I can't think of why that would be. There wouldn't have been any location shooting in Ireland. I don't think. Wow. That is either going to be a fact that I forget immediately, or it's going to stick in my head, and as soon as the live stream's over, I'm going to start researching it. One of the two. There will be no in between. Fugitive Doctor, have you ever been limited by what you were before? Yes. Thank you, John. Thank you very much. Which one-time Doctor Who villain would you like to see return apart from Mr. Finch? That is not fair to take away my go-to answer. The Dream Lord. Oh, Meg. Oh, thank you. Meg Casa Boom. Underbust, corset, or overbust? Which you prefer to rock these days? I haven't gotten an overbust corset yet since having developed what I have. I need to. I want to. I can't afford it right now. That's the kind of spending I can't really justify at the moment. So I can't answer that yet. Stick a pin in it. One of these days I will be able to answer that. I have like, I think 1 or 2 overbust corsets, but they were bought some time ago to accommodate breast forms, and I haven't tried them out yet. I've also gained weight since then, so I'm really paranoid about trying on corsets and finding out that even loosening the lacing, I still can't do them up because that bums the heck out of me when I find that out. But I do need to get some new corsetry. Blessed Rain, again, you get another heart. You're racking them up. I think what hits hard with Children of Earth is, as a parent, it hits hard. At least it has for me on rewatching. Then again, I cried hard on Raya too. Now, I haven't seen Raya yet. Yes, I think being a parent does make that one harsher. Although for me, I still feel the hardest hit when I did the rewatch, watching the children being dragged away from their parents. That rang way truer than it has any right to, and like more so since the thing aired. Are you going to watch Superman and Lois? It is not top of my list because I'm still in catch-ups mode. Cash App won't let me deposit money on my card to send to your super chat. You got Cash App? I actually don't have Cash App. I suppose I should, just like to have one more way for people to throw money at me. Put that on my to-do list. And thank you, Carowin, for catching that. I caught that out of the corner of my eye. Thank you for speaking up on that. I appreciate it. Good work as always. You know what? Free hearts to the mods. Much deserved. Renee Moncayo. Probably butchered the last name, but you get a heart. Consider this bodice bustier or keto diet money. Oh, decisions on that one. Thank you. The Beautiful Game. There you go. If you could, how would you change Doctor Who? It's difficult to know how to answer that because there's nothing really that I'd change about what has already happened, because what I love about Doctor Who is because of its continual renewal process, through the ability to have regeneration, through the ability to have the Doctor to have adventures in any part of time and space, and if someone chooses to, not have him encounter old enemies, encounter nothing but old enemies, or to have her, get wrapped up in big universe-spanning events or just get tied up into a bunch of small things that she has to deal with. The ability of the show to go anywhere and do anything, to me, means you don't have to change anything about it. The nature of the show already allows you to do whatever you want to do. Just don't mess with that. Who would you like to play in the Clue musical? I could see you as Yvette. Oh, God. Watching that movie again, she's bouncing to the music and she stops and her chest bounces for like another full second after she stops moving. It's amazing. True answer, though, to that is Wadsworth. 100%. Oh, no, sir. I'm merely a humble butler. What exactly do you do? I buttle, sir. Love your hair color and your nails, Vera. Thank you, Charlie. Do you pole dance? I don't, but it's only because I don't have a pole to practice on. I don't have, I suppose I do have rooms where I could set it up, but I would have to rearrange parts of the house to accommodate a pole. Now, the fact that I know I would have to rearrange parts of the house to accommodate a pole should clue you into the fact that I've already thought about what I would have to do to accommodate a pole. Just saying. Fun fact about Holy Terror, the people playing mother and son are actually husband and wife. Oh, that is kind of fun. Thoughts on Rian Johnson? I hate him. And that comes from Luke Skywalker. So, I expect that that you would. But, so here's the thing. I actually really like Rian Johnson as a filmmaker. And I've got it. It's on my to-do list. I will be surprised if I get to it this year. But I want to do an overview kind of just what he does in terms of his approach to films, because deconstruction is his entire thing. I still haven't watched Brick yet. I need to see that one. But every film he's done has been a deconstruction. He has deconstructed noir. He has deconstructed time travel. He has deconstructed the con artist movie. He has deconstructed the murder mystery. And he's really good at deconstruction. The problem was they shouldn't have been deconstructing the leads and the main characters and the core themes of Star Wars in the main saga. I'm not even going to say he shouldn't have been deconstructing Star Wars, but he should have been doing it in one of the side projects. For what he does and what he's good at, nobody should have given him access to Luke Skywalker. They just shouldn't have. Knowing what the man does, that was a bad idea. Because he did what he always does. He deconstructed the heck out of it. And nobody wanted that to happen. Well, I say nobody. There's some people who really do like The Last Jedi because of its deconstructive nature, because of its subversive nature, because it is so much what you don't expect, except that I'm also quick to point out, as much as I love a deconstruction itself cannot be the end goal. It's still, especially in a franchise, it has to serve a greater purpose. So when you deconstruct a primary continuity like that, I'm not going to be on board for that. So I really like Rian Johnson as a director. I just think he shouldn't have been put on the main saga of Star Wars. Doom Patrol is my personal favorite thing called Danny the Street. Yes, I've heard about Danny. A sentient street that acts as a safe haven for the social rejects in the world. Sorry, I don't know the term. And Danny's non-binary. I know that too. Thank you for reading my comment. I'm looking forward to your Rian Johnson review video. Yeah, I have no idea when I'll get to that. Honestly, that'll probably be next year. In terms of the pace at which I am getting like really heavy workload pieces out. Like the last really involved video I got out was the video on the Watchmen movie. And I don't even know when I'm going to get to another one of that scope. I want to, but again, I've got too much other stuff I need to get fully packed up and changed away. I'm a changed man. I no longer love The Last Jedi like I used to. My new favorite is Revenge of the Sith. Interesting choice. Judging by the characteristics of the character, do you think the Riddler is more sick and twisted than the Joker? I think the Riddler is more self-destructive than the Joker. Whether or not he is more sick and twisted depends on specific interpretations. You could certainly do him that way, but I think by and large he's just way more self-sabotaging than the Joker. Because the Joker has little rhyme or reason, and his rhyme or reason changes even when he does have it. The Riddler can't stop himself from laying out clues. If he truly wanted to get away with stuff, he would just stop doing riddles. And he could probably get away with most of what he does. But he can't stop himself from doing it. What are your thoughts on It's a Sin? I've got a whole review video up. Go check that out once the live stream's over. Excuse me. Too bad you don't have Polish ancestry. Then you could be a Pole on a pole. Oh, I love terrible wordplay. And that was terrible. Would you consider reviewing Raya the Last Dragon? I mean, I'll see it eventually. Whether or not I get to it quickly is actually going to depend. I need to find out whether or not, because I'll have my kid this weekend. I need to find out whether or not she's already seen it. If she hasn't, I will rent it. If she has, I'm not sure I'm going to shell out $30 just for me to see it. Especially considering I don't think I'll make that much back for the views I'd get on a review. If I was going to do that, I needed to have gotten the review out last week. So, what is your second favorite Doctor Who episode? You do realize every time I answer that, I'm going to give a different answer. Let's go with Midnight. Could you see David Tennant playing the Ritter? The Ritter? The Riddler. Oh, yeah, sure. I remember seeing mocked up fan posters of him being the Riddler for the third Nolan Batman movie way before it even had a title. Meg. Have you checked out Vampires on Netflix? I just noticed it today. No, that has not caught my eye as yet. Oh, Renee, again, thank you very, very much for the super chat. And this is today, Bona Drag, Omo Palone Bona to Kata your eek dolly that Raya. I read it. I hope you really did write it that unusually, because otherwise, like, I'm having a stroke. Did you just make me say something really obscene in a different language? Renee, what was that? What are you doing to me, Renee? Why do you do these things to me? I can't do that, Dave. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. I can't do that, Dave. Okay. What's some advice you can give regarding content to a new YouTuber? Pick stuff you love. The less it feels like work, the more you'll be able to stick with it. So be sure it's something that you love talking about and love creating content on. More than anything. Because whatever thoughts I might have about a preferred style or editing approach or delivery, vocal delivery, that's just my preference. And other people prefer other things. But just find what you love. Don't try and be like anyone else. You'll take inspiration, especially early on. I did. But find your voice and be sure you're talking about stuff you want to talk about. Have you listened to the Hamill Drop soundtrack? Nope, that passed me by. Let's see. I said your hair and clothes were beautiful in Polari. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Glad somebody clued me in on that. What are your thoughts on the 10th Doctor supposedly taking over Torchwood? I mean, that's going to be an audio adventure thing, so until I listen to it, I have no opinion. I do something that the BBC would never be happy with. Banish the Doctor from Earth. Have them be able to go anywhere but there. You're right. The BBC would never let you do that simply for budgeting reasons. I mean, as much as I desperately wish that Doctor Who would not be as earthbound as it is, ultimately the reason that happens is for cost reasons. it's way easier just to shoot on existing locations or existing sets than to build whole new alien worlds or spaceships or what have you. It's more cost effective. That's why it happens. Let's see. What are your thoughts on The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies? Oh, you mean the Saga of Thorin Oakenshield? Because that movie has no business being called The Hobbit. That's actually one of my earlier video reviews. You can go way back and find my full thoughts on that. It's garbage. It's really, 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 really bad. It is so very, very bad. And it hurts me to think about. I have spoken. Have you seen Amphibia? Well, first of all, Tube's the one. You get a heart for the super chat. And no, I haven't. I've seen it to the extent that when I go on Disney Plus, it shows up like they're advertising for it. But no, I have not watched that. So are we supposed to assume that DCEU Harley Quinn has the same multiple recollections of her origin like the Joker has? I mean, I would say it's actually arguable whose perspective the origin bits we saw in Suicide Squad even were. Because, you know, that thing was such a mess anyway. Can you do a cross-eyed face? Can I do a cross-eyed? I can do you one better than cross-eyed. There you go. Somebody's going to clip that and embarrass the hell out of me. I feel like I'm always on thin ice when I'm posting on live streams, so I'm scared. It's okay, Logan. Breathe. Whew. It'll all be okay. Have a drink of water. I'll do it. Yes, of course you will. Favorite episode of Red Dwarf, Smeghead? Oh, jeez. I've always really gotten a kick out of Polymorph. There are a lot of really good ones. Which Doctor Who character you used to like with first viewing but dislike now? It hasn't really changed with viewing, but my opinion of Kate Stewart goes down the more time she shows up because they haven't known how to write her well since the first few times she appeared. Would you ever watch more Inside Number 9 if I had more time in my life or if somebody paid me? Is that an L? DL Menzel. You get a heart for the super chat. And let's see. DL here. Congratulations on 50K. Thank you. Is there room in the space for specifically middle-aged Avengers commentary? Menopausal Marvel. I'm toying with it. I mean, first of all, you're speaking to someone who is on the border of middle age. I'm only a little over a year from 40. And given that fact, yes, I would say absolutely there's room in the world for that. Go for it. If you want to talk about it, do it. What are your thoughts on butt monkey characters? I'm missing something there. Oh, Carowin, the Discord. Thank you, Carowin. I'm sorry I missed it earlier. You're allowed to chastise me. I don't mind. Okay. Let's see. So I need to head over to the Discord, which, as a reminder, is at this point a special perk for the Patreon, and now also for YouTube membership participants get access to the Discord, and they get their questions answered or comments read on live streams guaranteed without having to do the super chat, though some of them still do the super chat, which is really, really nice. Some people really enjoy throwing me money. I don't know why, but please don't stop. Okay. Congratulations on 50K subs. Thank you. I started following you around the time of your 10K Q&A when the hat came off. Oh my God. 3 years ago now was the first time I let my hair down and talked about being gender fluid on this channel. Not the first time I talked about it anywhere, because the Vera Wild channel is actually older than this channel. But, oh man. Some more congratulations. Excited for you. Thank you. Question, in your own mind, do you have recommended gateway videos to the channel? Ooh. Okay, so talking about my own channel, if I were to say, like, here's a selection of videos to get an idea of what it's like to be subscribed and to get my videos on a regular basis, I'm probably going to lean towards more recent stuff in the interest of a gateway, because obviously that's the kind of thing that I'm producing these days. Like, there's some older videos that I'm very proud of, but I feel like aren't as representative of either my video or editing quality, or sometimes even my delivery. But so I'd probably say, let's go with the gay coding video. The try to think of a good Doctor Who one to go with. Honestly, I'd say the Hellbent, the final rant video, to get a taste of the most unhinged that I'm gonna get. Get a sample of that. And I feel like I should think of one more. I think the video about problematic authors, where I talked about Rowling, Card, and Lovecraft. I think those are the three I would sample. Favorite Sean Bean death? Equilibrium would be my preferred Sean Bean death. 50K, get out the cakes and fireworks, water and fishnet leggings. We're partying like we are on Trenzalore. Oh, I left my fishnets upstairs. Maybe I did. I mean, I've got the thing framed in such a way that you don't know if I'm wearing fishnets. I might be. That'll cost you a lot in the super chat to find that out. With those cows of yours, you look no younger than 30. You're rocking 39 with style. Not quite 39 yet, but later this month, yeah. I had a weird thought. I want your opinion on Matthew McConaughey as Norman Osborn. Huh. I kind of want to see it. Like, sincerely. Huh. I watch Vera Wild videos when I suffer from insomnia, and they soothe me so I can sleep. It's not shocking for me to hear that you go for the Vera Wild videos as opposed to the Council of Geeks, because I can get ranty over here. I like to think it's part of the charm. Maybe you tell me. But over on the Vera Wild channel, I use a softer voice. And also, it's like slightly pitched up still. So when I'm over on the Vera Wild channel, I use more of my upper register, and I talk a bit softer, and I often talk a bit slower. The thing is, this isn't really an act. I was going to say it's not an affectation. It is, but it's an affectation in that when I'm really tapping into my femininity as directly as I can, as opposed to sort of landing wherever I do and even veering around all over the place some days, when I really zero in on the feminine sides of myself, my voice tends to soften anyways. And people may even notice during Council of Geeks videos that there are times when I get a little bit emotional, and if it's not something that I'm shouting about, then I have a tendency to slow down and go a little bit quieter, and my speech patterns will actually more closely resemble what I do over on the Vera Wild channel than a lot of my standard rants on this one. So, so to shift out of that code switch. Yes, that is the term. Thank you, Black Cover. The next Doctor Who character you should cosplay as Perry from the Sixth Doctor's Companion. Super fan of her look. Gonna be honest. Can you do a tour of your collection in the back sometime? It would be a video. Love considering how bloody awesome it looks. Yeah. Oh God. It is getting crowded back there. Like I did some rearranging just a couple of days ago when the DRD showed up. And I try very hard not to remove anything. I don't want to take anything, because nearly all of this stuff is gifts. Things either given to me by people who know me, personally day to day, or have come as gifts from you folks. And I don't want to remove anything if I can help it. The only stuff that's ever gotten removed was Harry Potter related stuff. I had a Harry Potter figurine, and I had a snowy owl that was not official merch. It wasn't officially Hedwig, but that's obviously what it was meant to represent. Those I took down. But the rest of this, like, and even the few that like I got myself, like the Tunberry I got myself, Totoro I got myself, but Totoro especially has been there so long, it would feel really weird to take him out to make room for other stuff. But yeah, I am legitimately running out of space. I suppose what I can do, because these shelves are actually fairly deep, like, I don't know if you can tell, but I can reach my arm all the way back in there. So I suppose what I could do is I could shift some stuff further back. But that would also mean that it's less likely to get seen by the camera, and I'm still reluctant to do that. But yeah, there is, yeah, man, it's a lot of stuff. Vera, and your kiddo's plush Dalek. Oh, yes. Oh, my God. It's actually, she hasn't done anything with that in ages. She might even let me have that back. Because I had a blue plush Dalek up for a while, as Carowin noted. But it wasn't actually mine. It was my kid's. And she wanted it back. And so obviously it's hers. I let her have it back. But she hasn't done anything with it in ages. If I asked, she'd probably let me have it back at this point. Because she never actually got into Doctor Who. She just liked the Dalek. Oh. Life and fandom are weird things. My daughter doesn't really go for sci-fi much at all. She likes dragons, is what she likes. I'm going to go getting to 2:05 a.m. over here. Oh, yeah, Logan, get some sleep. Remember to be excellent to each other and party on, dudes. Here's how you impersonate Hercules Mulligan. All you have to do is speak in a raspy voice and scream aggressively. Sexy belly flash. Yeah, that. You might have even like caught the estrogen patch when I did that. I love in the Arkham City games where Riddler vows to defeat Batman and remove his mask, only for Hugo Strange to basically make him have a breakdown since he already knows who he is. I need to get back to those games. I played a few hours of the original one, but the thing is, it's been so long since I've played third-person games that don't have a fixed camera, and it made me motion sick because, like, I'm not used to it anymore. So that was years ago, and I haven't gone back. I have it. I also have Arkham City, but it's in the pile of games I own but haven't played. How does a writer walk the tightrope between diversity, tokenism, and appropriation? Beta readers. Get yourself a diverse group of beta readers who are going to be willing to tell you if you're doing it wrong. Because there's only so much you're ever going to catch on your own. Get other eyes on what you're doing. Favorite Star Trek series? Next Generation is the only one I'm truly nostalgic for because I would watch episodes of The Next Generation. Let me back up. I spent summers at my grandparents because I went to a day camp that was just a short walk from where they lived. And so I would spend my summers with them, and there were a couple of shows that I would watch with my grandfather. And so, like, there's a whole cluster of things that I tend to think of as my grandfather's shows. Most of them were sitcoms. Like, I think of MASH and Friends and Seinfeld and Cheers and Frasier. Those are my grandfather's shows. And he wasn't really a sci-fi guy, but he did like Star Trek: The Next Generation. So when he would put that on, I would sit down and watch that with him. Other stuff he'd watch, I kind of flit in and out of. So like there are tons of tiny bits of like Cheers and Seinfeld and all this other stuff that I've caught and that I've seen, but not a lot of full episodes that I ever sat down to watch. But Star Trek: Next Generation, like when I hear the opening credit music to Star Trek: The Next Generation, I remember being like 10 years old and sitting on my stomach on the floor with my chin in my hands, watching those credits and listening to that music. Can you do an impression of Eric Cartman? Screw you guys, I'm going home. And then, you guys know, I'm going, yeah. Yeah, a little bit. I haven't watched South Park in ages. I think I've outgrown it. I've outgrown the sort of nihilistic approach to comedy. Everything sucks and beliefs are stupid. Yeah, I don't really truck with that anymore. Can you do a response to that vegan teacher calling LGBTQ plus, calling us selfish? I will not do a formal response for that because I feel she is beneath me to spend the time to do it. Many other people are putting in a lot of hard work to take apart her absolute nonsense. And I am not saying that they are wasting their time by doing so. They are choosing how to use their time, and I believe many of them who are doing that are using it well. For my part, I will not spend my time or my thoughts on that person. I have no reason to get invested, even in disliking her, which is a very easy thing to do. Rules for families in Gotham. If your surname is Dumpler and you have a really obese child, don't christen them Humphrey. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? I only ever watch bits and pieces of it here or there. It's very 90s. That's kind of all I've got. Would you consider remaking the 100 episodes of Doctor Who to Save Forever sometime? Maybe after I have seen more of Classic. My brother, dad, and I would do TNG and Pizza Fridays. Oh, that does sound nice. Congrats on 50K. I've been watching your videos since 2018. Oh, I am very glad you've stuck around. That's the thing that kind of blows my mind. It's not that people find my stuff. It's not even that people enjoy my stuff. It's that people keep coming back for more. That's the part that I'm just like, whew. That's the stuff that amazes me. Okay, so I actually really should wrap it up soon myself. When you went up and did that intimidating voice into your mic earlier in the stream, I felt like I heard a hint of Heath Ledger's Joker. Can you do an impression? I'm getting asked for a lot of impressions tonight. Okay, hold on. Do you want to know how I got these scars? You've got a little fight in you. I like that. I really do think that you and I are destined to do this forever. The thing with Ledger's Joker is it is very breathy. It is a little bit upper register, and it is kind of breathy and a little bit airy. So, I'm trying to think what else he's got in there. I don't want to kill you. What would I ever do without you? Go back to knocking off gangsters? No. You complete me. That's a lot of fun. Going through Batman the Animated Series again. Roddy McDowell as the Mad Hatter is just... Mwah. Yeah, he is. They had amazing voices on that show. They really, really did. Talking of impressions, can you do Frankenfurter? I mean, I'd have to just pull some lines. Oh, don't be upset. It was a mercy killing. He had a sort of naive charm, but no muscle. Oh, Rocky! I can't quite do like a full-on impression. I would love to play that part, give it my own spin. But, Tara Stoller, thank you very much. Heart for you. I have an idea for 100K. Woo, getting ahead of ourselves. Fireside chat with the skit pals from your earlier vids about your origin. That would be lovely and also probably impossible. One of the two people involved, that's Nicole, who played Kate, I think was the character's name. She moved to the Caribbean islands. I actually forget where now exactly. But so she's nowhere near me anymore. Nathan, maybe I could wrangle. He's a pain in the ass to get a hold of, though, because he's barely ever on social media. Like the only time I ever see him is when I go to the farmer's market, because he's a blacksmith, so he sells his wares there. And even if I got him to say yes, which he probably would, but like just trying to schedule him is a big pain in the butt. Oh, excuse me. Riff raff impression. Are we just going through impressions at this point? You've arrived on a rather special night. It's one of the master's affairs. Which one? How big would that vegan teacher have to be to force you to respond to her? It's not about how big she is. She's not worth my time. I think unless she does a video specifically naming me, which she wouldn't have a reason to do, because I sure as shit am not talking about her, except here where somebody's asked. Unless that happens, and even if that happened, I might not. I have no use for feuds. I have no use for back and forth creator call out culture. Now, some people probably can and will claim that my videos on things like Joss Whedon, Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, Gina Carano is somehow call out culture, but keep in mind the way that I approach that, the angle I take on that is the entertainment business angle. Just generally calling people out on their bad behavior. And this is not me saying that's a thing that isn't worth doing, but I'm just saying that's not a thing that engages me. That's not a YouTube ecosystem that I want to be a part of. And I say that as somebody who has had call out videos made about them from a number of creators, some very, very small, some bigger than I will probably ever be. And I've only ever, not even really responded, but addressed once when that's happened. And that was because the person who did it was so freaking huge that I had to say something. Because now literally the most viewed piece of media on YouTube that has my face on it is by somebody else saying bullcrap about me and implying far worse. And that's just the reality of my being on this platform. That will always be the case. That video's got 1 million freaking views. That I dealt with because I felt I legitimately had to deal with that one. Because it was such a flagrant misrepresentation of who I was as a person that one I legitimately had to do something about. But I don't want to deal in that aspect of YouTube. I do not want to be in the drama, feuding, call out soup. I don't want to be in that world. And if I can avoid getting pulled into it, I will. I just don't want to be there. I am going to wrap up soon. I said that before. I probably will, but have you seen the Netflix show? I am not okay with this. I've heard of it, haven't seen it. Have you watched Tenet? I have not yet. I keep meaning to check if it's on HBO Max yet. Actually, you know what I need to try and watch soon? I need to watch Kong Skull Island. I need to watch Godzilla King of the Monsters because I do want to watch King Kong versus Godzilla when it comes out. The Blair White thing was not a call out. That was slander and lies. I mean, potato. That's part of the slippery slope that is that entire ecosystem of YouTube. Have you ever watched Dark Angel? Nope. Heard of it? Never watched it. Are you ever going to make a video on the super straights? No, that stuff's nonsense. Been here since 2017, and the first video I saw, I disagree with, and yet I kept coming back. Cheers. Cheers to you too, Ben. And a nod. That's always my favorite. I love when people disagree with me but stick around anyways. What are your thoughts on stan culture? Here's the problem. I don't actually know. Like, I know. Rhetorically, I know the difference between a stan and a fan. It's a matter of degree. But I don't know, when you're talking stan culture, I don't know what differentiates stan culture from normal fan culture. And I'm not sure I want to know. I do want to say that I find the name of it kind of gross, given where it comes from and what that song was actually a freaking bout. Anybody who is actually going to say, oh, I'm a stan for this, like, look into the origins of that term and really think about, is that what you actually want to be? That's what kind of weirds me out about it. That's about the most of an opinion I'll have. Roddy was also one of my favorite one-off villains from the 66 Batman series. I forgot he was on that. See, I mainly know Roddy McDowell from the Planet of the Apes movies, because he was Cornelius, and he was brilliant. He was so good. Him and Kim Hunter. But Roddy McDowell really kind of became the face of the franchise, starting with the third one. Oh, he's so good. Oh, yeah, I need to stop. What are your thoughts on Batman versus Robin? The animated movie? Hated it. Absolutely hated it. There's a review up. I am very far behind on catching up with the DC animated stuff. I did keep up with it for a while. Batman versus Robin was absolute trash. It was so bad. Very late to the party. Hi all. Well, John, actually, you're so late that it's about to wrap up for the evening. Had to scroll back through the video because of technical issues, but I hit the M cross-eyed face. I can honestly say I choked. That amused me. Thank you very much for that. You need to watch Superman Man of Tomorrow. No, don't know that one. Haven't gotten that one. Best Superman one of the ones I've seen is still Superman versus the Elite. I think Ms. Wicked Wolf is looking through reviews of stuff you hated to bring them up again. Yeah, I think so too. But the thing is, that's a flawed strategy, because if it's something I've already done a review on, the bulk of what I'm going to say is I did a review already. Look it up. Do you consider yourself hot or sexy? On a good day, I do. Standard day to day, 50-50. About half the time I think I look good. About the other half I'm like, ugh. Because despite my ego, which is nothing to sneeze at, it's quite an ego. Yeah, no, it's still about half the time maybe. What's your opinion on the Snyder Cut, and are you looking forward to it? I won't have an opinion until I see it, and am I looking forward to it? Sort of. I'm kind of looking forward to finally seeing it. I'm not looking forward to doing a review of it, because I am 95% certain that I'm going to say it's still not a good movie, and I'm going to have to deal with all the Snyder fans coming at me for that, so... Is that water or Granny's peach tea? It's water. Yeah. WTF was that movie? Yeah. Yeah, very seriously. Who's the best Skeksis? The Chamberlain. Gelfling. Don't run away, Gelfling. Oh, he's so good. Oh. Thoughts on Be Kind, Rewind. Have you seen it? I haven't seen it. I know what it's about. Interesting premise. Not really my thing. I'm going to wrap it up. I see people are starting to bow out, and this is like my third or fourth time saying I was going to wrap it up. So, Thank you very much, all. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for helping me get to 50,000. This is an insane benchmark, and I could not be happier or more touched at having hit it. So thank you so much. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for every time you tune in, every time you watch, every time you like, every time you comment. Thank you. And remember that you are beautiful, you are valid, and you are loved. You are the council. I just run the meetings. And until next time, this council is adjourned. McCavity!